In this session, the theme, I guess, of the whole board, so the next 4 sessions, is getting more into the details of the nature of a Turing machine. We'll introduce concepts like a Turing machine's configuration, and that'll become clear by the end of this session. Let's see what else we've been doing. Yeah, quite a bit on configuration. And then we start talking about languages that Turing machines can recognize, stuff like that. Several definitions of that theme. And towards the end, we start talking about the first of 4, I think, examples of Turing machines at work. And we'll actually give 4 languages that are recognizable by the Turing machine. Now, in each case, we will not go into full details. Remember from previous board, to specify the full formal definition of a Turing machine is usually tedious, just cumbersome, simply because there's just so many details there. So a kind of compromise, now it'll be next board, it won't be this one, but of those 4 examples, I think for the first 2, there will be a state diagram, a state transition diagram given. Now from the diagram you have all the details. So particularly on, you have all the states drawn, of course, little circles, and the labels on the transitions, the transition arrows, so all the details are there. So for the first half, the first 2 of 4 of examples of Turing machines at work, recognizing 4 different languages, those descriptions will be more higher level, what Sipser calls higher level, and we'll talk a bit about that as well. But in practice, giving full description, full formal definitions of a particular Turing machine is tedious, so it tends not to be done. Alright, some general comments before I get into the nitty-gritty. Recently, like once I've uploaded files to YouTube, often YouTube itself, the company, will send me back other related YouTube clips on the same theme based on the keywords that I supply for each of my clips that I upload to YouTube. And I'm noticing increasing number, like this is on theory of computation, so I noticed other courses on theory of computation, and I was watching a couple of them. Some are being systematic the way I am, like a full course, but they are classroom courses. Somebody set up a video camera, camcorder, handy cam, whatever, of a classroom course by a waged professor, a professor in a classroom teaching a class, a physical class of students, 30, 50, 100, whatever, right? The conventional classroom situation. Whereas, and of course there are differences. It's in real time. Typically, a clip might be like an hour, and they're writing real time on the board, which is incredibly slow and inefficient, I find. Maybe it's what you're used to, because there's not much alternative. But what I'm trying to do is I'm making videos specifically for the internet, right? Whereas what these other courses are doing, I find, are, well, they're just taking a camera into the conventional, underlined, the conventional setting. And it's different. It just has a whole different feel to it. Whereas with my approach, well, notice it's very dense, but you can freeze. Well, you can freeze the classroom video as well, but you can freeze and then get like a lot of detail all at once, because it's all there, right? So I feel that has certain advantages. Also, it's just more efficient and get more stuff in a given area than the huge amount of wasted pixels, if you like, on a classroom recording, where most of the blackboard, especially at the beginning, is just blank, right? It seems such a waste. Whereas here, you get it all from the beginning. And you can freeze any time and look over it. You can listen to my words. You can consult the text. And you can read the text on the whiteboard as well. You have three things you can do. And hopefully that combination is more powerful than the conventional approach. Also, I noticed, well, particularly with the Indians, now remember I'm a globist, and I'm ideologically committed to culture bashing, which is taboo for the PC people, politically correct people. For them, you do not criticize other people's cultures. Whereas a globist, I do just the reverse. I see culture bashing, heavy criticism of customs of a culture, as necessary, an important and necessary step to create the creation of a global state, which is the ultimate dream of the globists. They want to live in a fully democratic global state, and in order for that to be achieved, there will need to be two major innovations. One is a truly global language, so everyone can communicate with each other, and that decision's already been made. It'll be English. That was made decades ago. So that process needs to run to completion. An internet that's doubling its speed every year will play a major role in motivating virtually everyone to speak the world language. So if you, in the future, a couple of decades, if you cannot speak the world language, you will become a egloberate. That's sort of like an illiterate, somebody cut off from world culture, so seen as utterly inferior and backward and ignorant, because you're ignorant of world culture. You only know your one little local old national culture. So people like that will die out. And the other major thing, of course, is thanks as a consequence of a global language will be a cultural homogenization, and that's seen as a necessary condition for the creation of Globa. That's the name of the global state, Globa. Because without it, too many disputes, ideological, religious, whatever. So with cultural homogenization, it becomes much easier to form a world state. And then the huge advantages of a world state are, well, obviously, no more wars, major one. No more arms trade. We waste, what, $1–2 trillion a year on the arms trade. It could be spent for getting rid of poverty and ignorance and so on. So as a means to foster the creation of a global of cultural homogenization, criticism of the inferiorities of cultures relative to other cultures, of course, is useful, and so I culture bash. It's my contribution as a globist. I would like to see the creation of global state, and of course one effective way to make that global state fully democratic, so all countries, all components, all states, if you like, in Globa to be democratic, and the way to get democracy in those countries that still don't have it is to foster the growth of those countries' middle class, and the way to draw smart people out of their ignorance and poverty is to educate them. And so I'm playing my role in free education. Okay, that's one comment. Another one. I've registered for MIT's, I'm on their email list. They'll come out periodically with comments, requests on their OCW, Open Courseware. So MIT for quite a few years now have been putting some of their lectures videoed, and I think they're now committed to do that for all their courses. And the director, the woman who's running the admin of all this stuff, so I emailed her before saying, are you conscious that what you're doing, that in a sense you're digging your own grave? Are you aware that by making education free, that sort of kills the need, well, in certain courses, certain category of courses, you know, what I call pen and paper type, you know, pad and pencil, if you like, type courses, you know, dentistry, medicine, stuff like that. You need to be in the lab dealing with patients and so forth. So there you need a geographically, physically centralized institution to teach such practical stuff. But for theoretical stuff, you know, pad and pencil stuff, that can be taught on the internet for free. And so then millions, if not billions of parents can be saved the huge expense of paying for their kids' education. Like in America, it can cost $40,000, $50,000 a year for undergrad education that could be given for free on the internet. So, like the futurist, American futurist Ray Kurzweil is now becoming conscious of this revolution going on. It's just going to kill, well, a fair proportion of traditional universities. Now maybe he's been, I don't know, maybe he's been influenced by what I'm doing. Now he and I have been corresponding for years. We're both futurists in a sense. And I've been saying what I call free proffing. I'm a free prof, short for a free professor. Free in several senses. Giving education for free, because you know all these grad level courses, well, this is only the beginning, are for free, and free in the sense I'm free to say, do whatever I like. So one of my intentions is to raise the bar. I will teach stuff that is so high level that it's not economic to teach it at most universities. So that means the really bright students, you know, the alphas, people I'm aiming at, top 1% of IQ, the alphas, to teach them at home for free at a level that they would not get at their own universities. Because, you know, I can teach whatever I like, right? I just stand in front of a camera like I'm doing right now and just waffle. So it's eminently doable. So I can go to a level that is not economic for most universities. It's not economic in the sense the administration, the president of the university is not going to pay a very high salary to someone extremely highly qualified who can teach the very high level stuff in pure math, physics, to a class of one person. Right? It's just crazy. It just doesn't happen. So there's obviously, for most universities, there's a cut-off point where some stuff is just too advanced. There's just not enough students to warrant the expense of paying the salary of the professor who can teach that stuff that's so specialized.